Welcome to Dramatic Pause, a Rose Theater podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking with Katherine Carter, the director of our upcoming Rockin concert, Misunderstood, Heroes and Villains. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dramatic Pause, a Rose Theater podcast. Today, I'm super excited because we have Katherine Carter on, and she is going to be talking to us about the upcoming concert, Misunderstood, Heroes and Villains. So welcome, Katherine. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, it's so great to be here. I love dramatic pauses in life and in the space they give us. So yay, I'm so happy to be here. I'm Katherine Carter. I'm a stage director of theater and opera, and I am originally from Michigan, the little place called Oakland County, about 45 minutes south of Detroit. And I moved to New York City about 15 years ago. So I'm a little bit Midwest, I'm a little bit East Coast, and I travel about 9 months out of the year. So I'm also very adept at packing. And that's it's like one of my weird special talents now. So yeah, that's what I do. Until COVID, I traveled a lot. I've taken the last year to sort of be at home as theater has been on pause in different ways, and just been enjoying the time to read and sharpen some different skill sets. So I am so excited to be at the Rose this spring doing Misunderstood. What a joyful way to enter back into live theater.
Yes, that is awesome. Thank you so much. I love that you're a little Midwest, a little East Coast. How fun. Yeah, so we are really excited about this upcoming concert. We think it's going to be a really fun way to kind of kick off the summer, but it's not necessarily something that the Rose does often. So do you want to tell us a little bit about kind of what that process has looked like so far from your end? Because I know, and everyone who's listening, I'm sure knows we were kind of planning on doing Descendants, and just to try to really make sure we can give Descendants the best breath possible. We've moved it a little further into the fall. So this was kind of a big surprise for everyone, but we're still really excited to be doing it. And so, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with it and what your kind of vision is for this concert?
Yeah, so I'm directing Descendants, for those who don't know, which I have been working on. I've been working on throughout the pandemic with our incredible design team, getting ready for auditions. We had video submissions, sort of planning for this original May rehearsal date. And sometime in the winter, I got a call from Matt Gutchick, and he said, listen, we're going to move Descendants because we don't know where things are going to be. And Descendants isn't a show that can really be done with perfect social distancing. It is a show about high school and romance and finding yourself and the ups and downs of being in this space of self-discovery. And there's so many group dance numbers, like we have 20 people on stage dancing, so it's hard to do that with social distancing. Mm-hmm. And so to give us some time to steer away with COVID, make sure that we are approaching this with a really healthy mindset and healthy for both the audience and our cast, Descendants got moved to open next season, which I'm so excited about. I'm in the midst of callbacks right now, and the talent is so incredible, so it is going to be such a show. But when he called me to tell me the news about Descendants moving, which was of course a bummer, he also said, but listen, I'm wondering what you think about doing some sort of like concert review for the Rose, because Matt knew that I had done, I put together concerts like this before in my career, either for galas for different theaters or opera companies, or as cabaret reviews for different actors or singers. So it's something that I'm very comfortable with, working with sort of a clean slate of, like, we wanted to be an exploration of something. We knew we wanted it to have pop, we knew we wanted to have musical theater, and we knew we wanted it to have Disney. So sort of taking that trifecta, and the staff at the Rose was incredible, because Matt came to me with this long list of, like, if you could have a concert of anything, what would it be? So we started with this list of like 150 songs, and it took about 2 months to pare things down and go through the different rights and making sure that we were getting the right songs and having the right cast. And we actually had a couple different versions of the show before we landed on our 5 performers. So we had a lot of fun finding songs that spoke to us once we had that cast. So the process has been really exciting and evolving, ongoing, because we're still finalizing different song choices, seeing what works. We have an incredible arranger, James Dobinson, who is a good friend of mine, who I work with a lot on many different projects, creating these mashups for us. So we're taking a bunch of different songs and mashing them up into one longer number. If you are a fan of the old show Glee, which I'm really dating myself using that reference, having those pop mashups, we have a bunch of those in the show, and yeah, like some hit favorites of Disney songs, Disney songs that people my age will love, Disney songs, that my nieces and nephew love. So there's something for everyone across the gamut. And we have a couple brand new musical theater pieces that haven't been heard yet. So it's this really cool, quirky mix. The feeling of the show is going to be a lot of like celebratory joy. We have, Sue doing the choreography, which is going to be incredible. We've been talking about how we can utilize the stage best, where the band's going to be on stage. So Jerry is thrilled. I told him he could have bedazzled gloves, and he's very excited.
Oh, I'm sure that was wildly exciting.
Yeah, he was like, "Can I have sparkles?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, Jerry. You can have anything you want." So that's going to be fun. We just had a meeting today, like finalizing the set and the structure for what the stage is going to look like, and it's really coming together as far as like what this is going to be. But it has all of these elements of a pop concert, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, big stadium concert, but in the space of the Rose Theater. So it has that intimate quality, because even the Rose is such a beautiful space. It still feels like you are with the performers, which is one of the reasons I love the Rose Theater so much. It's such a great directorial playground, and so fun for storytelling. So that was a little bit all over the place, but that's going to be the vibe. It's a lot of joy. It's the lighting is going to be totally cool. Just come expecting to hear a bunch of songs that a couple that you don't, and hear them in new and exciting ways, sung by incredible Rose Theater talent.
I love that. No, so yeah, it's been really kind of a whirlwind for you guys from what you've kind of been saying here, but it sounds like it's going to come together to be something really amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I was looking at some of the costume sketches yesterday, and it's like, oh yeah, this is what this is going to look like. Like, we're doing a show, y'all. So it's been really fun. And because we're working, because it's all in-house designers, it's giving everyone at the Rose a chance to really play. It was so fun this morning doing the set design with Matt and Krupski and Hunter, and it's all of us sort of like sitting around a piece of paper going like, okay, but what about this? And what about that? And what about this? So it's that part of it has been very exciting. And there's still some uncertainty as far as like where we're going to land with the song list. So that's, even though it's a little like, oh no, we need a song list, please. It's also this ability to flex and to play has been really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will say I worked down in the box office, several days, and Matt and Krupski came in today, and they were practically off the ground. They were so excited about what they were going to be doing for Misunderstood with the lights and the sound. So it's exciting to see all of our artists excited about it. And if you guys follow us on social media, anyone listening to the podcast, of course, we always try to post a few behind the scenes shots and renderings and all that kind of stuff. So definitely keep an eye out as time goes on for a few little sneak peeks about what we're going to be putting in. But yeah, and I really want to talk about your singers, your talent, because they are an incredible group.
Yeah, the group is great.
And so
it's really great.
Yeah, so we have a lot of talent that we've seen before in different ways here at the Rose. So if anyone's listening that's members or have even been to shows in the last 2 seasons, these are names and faces you're going to recognize. And Lauren Krupski is one of them who this concert actually is going to be her 21st time on our stage. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we are super excited for her, and actually, you'll be able to catch another podcast with her a little later on. So keep an eye out for that. The podcast is called How Do You Solve a Problem Like Not Being Maria? Because unfortunately Sound of Music got canceled last year. So we're going to talk to Lauren a little bit about that process, but then being able to come back for this concert, which is going to be just amazing. And then Marcel Daly, who any of our audience members might know from Ella Enchanted. He is awesome. I love Marcel.
So good. What a rich voice.
And just like such a kind soul.
Yes.
So, and then Audrey Saucier is our one youth artist. And actors, anyone in the community might know her from Goosebumps. She was our leading lady when we did Goosebumps. But she also was, anyone who's done JTF or did anything like that with our classes, she was Junie B. Jones in one of our shows too. So very excited to see a Rose Kid coming up and being part of this. And then Trey Mendlick and who am I missing? Ronnie Perez, who was in Howie D. So that was the first time that we met Ronnie, and that was just right before the pandemic hit. So it'll be super great to come full circle and have her back again.
I mean, these 5 truly jumped out in the audition process. What's really interesting when you're putting together a review like this is that there isn't a set number of people, right? Like you can have your cast really is self-selecting in this way that I'm always surprised by. I always pretend like, oh, I know it's like, I was like, oh, we're going to have like 6 or 7 singers. It's going to look like this. It's going to be this. And then it really became this 5. And I remember sitting and talking with Sue and Jerry, and it's like, oh, this is the 5. Like, these are the 5. And then I was so excited when they all said yes, because, you never know. It's like if one of them had a conflict or had passed, it would have messed with the alchemy. And we just have the chemistry. I'm super excited to get them all in the room and start playing, because they each bring such unique flavors to the table.
That is so awesome. And so did you guys do completely new auditions for this, or did you kind of go from your pool with Descendants?
So we had a Descendants pool. And essentially what happened was I had just finished going through the Descendants auditions, the first round of submissions, before Matt had said, hey, we're judging things around. So when Misunderstood came up, I said, okay, well, let me go back and look at my notes. And I pulled, and Sue and Jerry and I sort of talked about that group. And I pulled about 20 to call back for Misunderstood. And what we did was we had them, and then we let everyone know that Misunderstood was going to be happening, and allowed and sort of pulled from that pool. But we had them do a callback where we had them sing 2 or 3 16-bar cuts of songs that they love. So instead of having them sing something from the Descendants, we got to see really what these voices and what these human beings can do as artists and where their hearts were drawn to. And that was a blast. There's actually some songs that we pulled for them that were based on their callback songs. So always fun for me as a director to see sort of what material people are drawn to and how I can best support them in this process, because material that you perform should bring you joy. And I think we have that right balance with this group.
I love that. It really sounds like you're putting together something that's really just going to be a celebration overall.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. Celebration. And just like, it's celebration. It's a party. This is so exciting to be able to do this, and how cool to be together. Welcoming spring. I mean, welcoming beautiful weather in Omaha. It was 75 yesterday, which was a shock to my Michigan system. I was so happy. And I couldn't be more excited about that.
That's so awesome. I'm so excited to kind of see how this all comes together. And so I know you're really early in the process. We've kind of really just started, really talking about it with designers and that kind of thing. I know that's pretty new, and you guys haven't even started rehearsal yet. But even in this kind of early on stages, is there something, some song, some moment, something you've talked about with designers that you're like, ooh, I am so excited for this thing?
There are 2, and I'm going to tell you without revealing anything.
Good.
One is that there's going to be a blacklight number.
Ooh.
And I'm really excited about that. Where we're going to be using blacklight to make actors glow and do cool stuff with costuming, lighting, and choreo to storytell in one particular number. So I'm very excited about that. And in the middle of the show, there is something that I'm calling the villains mashup, which is all of these incredible pop songs that like would be considered like bad girl, bad boy vibes that are being mashed up in this in a way that makes me very excited. And it's sort of like the midway point of the show. So it's going to have a lot of cool stuff. So those two things I'm really excited about.
That sounds super cool. I have not heard anything really about what's happening with this show yet because it's so early. Yet lots of times we hear, you know, little whispers at the box office, but because it's so early, I haven't heard anything. And that sounds so exciting. I'm so excited for this.
There's some classics. Like we have we have a little Bowie, we have a little Mariah. So it's not just, you know, Billie Eilish. There's some other stuff happening.
Sure. Sounds like you guys are going to have a really consciously chosen mix to be able to kind of catch everybody.
Yeah, I hope so. That's our goal.
That's awesome. Well, I love it. And I know anyone who's listening, if you're a member, you get this concert for free as part of your membership. So don't forget to book those tickets. And if you are not a member, I don't know why you aren't.
But get on that.
But if you are wanting to come to this concert and you're not a member, you can always call the box office or get those tickets online. This is definitely something you're clearly not going to want to miss. It sounds like it's going to be a party and a half. And so we are just so excited. And then Katherine, we are actually going to have you back on to talk about Descendants once we get a little closer to that show. So if you enjoyed Katherine's vibe, if you're excited to hear more from her, we're going to have her on in a few episodes from now, once we get a little closer to that Descendants date and you've had a little more time to work on, you know, that process and hopefully even get a few rehearsals in. We'll have her back on.
I can't wait. I'm so excited to be a part of the Rose community. The artists here are incredible. The human beings here are incredible. And I just feel so welcomed. So thank you. And I can't wait to make a really incredible concert for y'all.
I love it. I love it so much. Well, Katherine, thank you so much for coming on today. We so appreciate your insight and giving us just a little bit of the flavor, the feel, the vibes of what this show is going to be like. And we so look forward to seeing it play out. So thanks again for taking some time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.